What's going on, everybody? It's Tyler from Dirt Road Country here. I've got a very fun guest right next to me as she just put out an EP on September 5th. It's called Doing Fine. It's a six-song EP, and I'm so thankful that she's here to chat with me about it. Tracielynn joins me. Tracy, what's going on?
Hey Tyler, what's going on? I'm hanging in there. What
Well,
about you?
I am doing okay. Well, actually, I'm doing fine. So,
Oh, popping out the jokes. Here we go.
well, thanks for joining me. How does it feel having this EP out there in the world? Because I know that when you put new music out, it's always a good feeling.
Yeah, no, it's a great feeling. There's such a build up to like piecing it together. And then I also put on like an EP release show. And so it felt like I was putting on a wedding. Like it was just so much planning involved. And there's just so much that I guess if you're not doing it, you really wouldn't know the kind of behind the scenes and the work that goes into it. So it feels good. I feel like I'm still coming off of it though. Like I'm still tired. Like it literally, like I remember when I married my husband, like after the wedding, I slept for like a week. And that's kind of what it's been feeling like. Just like the mental aspect of coming off of it and kind of letting it ride and do its course and do what it needs to do.
Understand.
So
Now, can you talk
yeah.
about the meaning behind the track that you chose as the title track, Doing Fine?
Yeah. So doing fine. This is kind of a long-winded story. So I wrote a song which is on the EP. It's called Pretty Machine. And I had a show with Randy Hauser. This was like, I think maybe a year ago. And I had written a song for my mom. I was in New York City one weekend. I don't remember what I was doing there, but I was in New York City for a weekend and I was in this cute little boutique shop and there was a perfume called Pretty Machine. And I love that so much. And it made me think of my mom. I was like, wow, what a title for like a song to like encompass like a person who is just a pretty machine in your life. So right then, right there, I wrote a song about my mom, and then she had no idea I had like written the song or even was thinking about writing a song for her. And so I knew that I had this show with Randy Hauser back home, and I knew that my parents were going to be there. And so I hired like a videographer and everything. And I was like, I told my dad like a few days before the show, I was like, listen, I was like, I wrote this song for mom. She has no idea. I was like, just make sure that like, here's the set list. The song's called Pretty Machine. Make sure she's like closer to the front when I sing it for her. And so I did. And I kind of knew she was going to cry. Like, I definitely, like, I was hoping she would cry. But then it was wild because, like, she started crying, but then it was literally this chain effect of, like, oh, there's so many different moms in the crowd that started crying. And I am such an empath that, like, if I even see a stranger cry, I will cry. And so I'm on stage, like, nobody tells you how hard it is to try to sing and cry at the same time. But, anyways, I powered through it. And as soon as the song was over, my dad, I even have the video from everything. You hear my dad in the crowd go, wait, but where's mine? And so, right then, right there, I was like, okay, I need to write my dad a song too. And that's kind of where Doing Fine came into place. Because and it's definitely for both of my parents, and it's basically I wrote it with Michael Farron over at Curb Records, and I'm like a big family girl. I'm really, really close with my mom and my dad and my brother. And so it's about the phone calls I have with them because I know they worry about me because the music industry can be such a monster. It's so cutthroat. It's very hard. And as a parent, they worry and they stress about you so much, like so much more than you can even
Yes.
imagine. And so doing fine is that phone call of me calling my parents and reminding them, like, don't stress about me. I'm doing fine. Like all is well. I'm good. And so yeah, and I really think like I've been asked a lot, like, oh, like what was the whole story behind like the EP as a whole? And to be honest, there wasn't one single like motive with the EP as a whole, other than it kind of hits the nail on the head in regards to like it's got heartbreak, it's got finding yourself, it's got family, it's got a little bit of everything. And that I guess you could call that was my motive. I wanted there to be something for everybody.
I love that.
Like a song for everybody where they can listen to it and be like, that's me. Because yeah, I know a lot of like bigger projects, whether it's an album or like an EP, sometimes there's one bigger motive. Like, okay, this EP is the motions that one would go through a breakup or whatever it may be. And with
Yes.
this one, I didn't really want one big thing. I wanted, it to hit all different kinds of real life situations that one would be able to relate to.
Well, speaking of how you started this with family, I'm a big family person myself, and I'm very close with my family. You're from the Hampton Roads, Virginia area.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up there with your family, and what were some things that you did growing up? Because that's a
Yeah.
fun place to grow up. Southern, I feel like Southeast Virginia. There's a lot of
Yeah,
cool stuff
it
going on.
was. It was, and I just heard like your little Jersey accent come out a little bit there. It was great. I mean, I was born and raised, so I even have like a tattoo. It's called like 501. So I was born and raised my entire life in the same house, which I know some people would be like, oh, okay, cool, cliche, like your address. But like, I don't have one other friend that was born and raised their entire life in the same house. And my parents still live in that house. And so that house I feel like shaped me. It kind of reminds me of that Miranda song, The House That Built Me. So like growing up, we grew up on a bunch of land. I was very much an outdoors kid. Like we weren't, I was not allowed to have like a computer in my room. I don't even think I was allowed to have a TV in my room until I was like 11th grade or something,
I
which
still don't have it in
honestly,
my room.
yeah, I'm so thankful for it. Like I was one of those kids where like we grew up on land and my neighbors was like a group of kids as well. And we would literally go out in the woods and build like forts. I don't even know anything. And like the only responsibility I had was literally like when the sun starts going down, like you have to go home for dinner time. And that was it. My parents weren't really worried about where I was or what I was doing. My mom was just like, if you miss dinner, then you're gonna go to sleep hungry kind of thing. And so yeah, I grew up outside. I grew up riding motorcycles and dirt bikes. My brother kind of did motocross for a hot minute. I was not allowed to do it because I was too little, but I did have a motorcycle and a dirt bike. So I don't know. We had like, do you remember those wagons? I can't think of the name, like the red classic
I do.
wagon that you would pull. We
Yes.
would makeshift things like we'd get the four wheeler, we'd tie a rope to the wagon, and we would create ramps through the yard. And
That's
we would like hit the ramps with the people in the wagon, and the goal was to not
so
fall out of the
fun.
wagon. Like just like stuff like that. So that was kind of my upbringing. And I'm so thankful that that was my upbringing, that I grew up outside, not behind a screen.
Yeah, I'm same here. I mean, we're thankfully part of the generation where kids
Yeah,
grew up outside. You know, you wake up in the morning, you watch SpongeBob, then you go outside.
right, exactly. If I was even allowed to watch SpongeBob, it was like eat breakfast, go outside.
Yeah, I couldn't watch SpongeBob till I was like a teenager, and I never even really watched it. You know, I was more like,
Yeah.
you ever watch Tom and Jerry growing up, or like those?
Yeah, yeah. No, I loved wait, what was the TV show? Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or Ed and Eddie, like that kind of
Oh yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good throwback stuff. The kids these days don't know what they're missing. We had all the good.
Yeah. I know, I know. I'm
I
not even caught up to like what kids are watching nowadays. I have no idea.
couldn't tell you what
But
show on Disney Channel was.
I
Or
know.
it
I
is a
know.
interesting world, especially
Yes.
especially with that
Yes.
stuff. Now, shifting over into Nashville, that's another part of the world that, hell, it's a lot of fun. Nashville's a great city.
It is.
What's the transition been like for you going from Southeast Virginia across, was it I-40 or whatever,
Yeah.
I-80,
Um,
I-40?
It's been good. I mean, I have been coming to and from Nashville since I was like 11. So like the first time I ever came to Nashville, I say 11, it was like 11 or 12. Um, my parents kind of always knew I wanted to do country music. I grew up backtracking for like 2 seconds. I grew up around music. Like my dad was in a band my whole life. Like he proposed to my mom at one of his boy band concerts. And then he kind of started going down the bluegrass rabbit hole. So he owns like so many banjos. So I grew up in a very musically inclined household. Like we had a music room and everything. And so my parents always knew like I wanted to do country music. And then when I was like 11, they were like, well, we should probably take her to Nashville, little girl, big dream. I was fortunate enough to ride parents who came with me to Nashville. They got me in the studio, and it was at Station West here in Nashville with Luke Wooten, who's one of my good friends here. He's a Grammy Award winning producer, phenomenal producer, great guy. And so I went in there when I was 11, and I was actually just talking in another interview about this because it's so wild. You can sing your entire life, but if you've never been in the studio and put on the headphones and sang into the mic, you really don't know what you sound like.
Hmm.
and like from a vocal standpoint. And so like I remember putting on those headphones and I was just like, oh my God, I was like, I'm actually like pretty good. Like this is wild.
So
So
what you're saying is that voice memos doesn't do justice.
yeah, no,
Good to
no, no,
know.
no, they don't. Or YouTube videos do not do justice. But yeah, so I got in the studio at 11 and then I quickly realized I definitely wanted to come to Nashville. So um, in that same time when I came here, Luke, I remember my parents were in the studio and he like kicked them out for a little bit. He was like, I just want to chat with Tracy for a second. And he asked me something to the extent of like, what do you want to do with this? Like, what's your plan with it? And I was like, oh, I'm going to graduate high school. I'm going to immediately come here. I'm not going to college. Like, I'm going to come to Nashville right away. And he was like, well, no. He's like, you're lucky enough to where you have parents who I was fortunate enough, my parents helped me go to college and get a degree. He was like, if you have that opportunity to do that, go do that. He's like, because this industry, there is no guarantee and it's nice to have something to fall back on. And so I was like, okay, cool. So I went to University of South Carolina, go Cox. And then I met my husband there and we ended up moving to Nashville. Like I graduated in 17, so we moved to Nashville like 2 years after that. We lived with my parents for like a year before we moved here just to kind of like save up some money and everything. And then yeah, I've been here for like 5 years now. A little over 5 years, and I love it. We did move here right before COVID, which kind of sucked. It really sucked because um, it kind of that's when the whole shift in the music industry happened. So that's when TikTok happened and everything became digital. So it's like what I thought the music business was, even though it's changing every day, this was really the time where like it just 180'd and everything became about social media. So because you couldn't go out and play shows. And so through that, I mean, I still was writing, putting out music because that's all I could do. I was doing everything I could possibly do. Um, and then yeah, so and my husband loves Nashville. That was a huge thing. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, we're gonna move here, and what if he doesn't like it? I was like, that's gonna put a wrench in things, because I was like, I can't leave. Like I have to be here. So, but he loves it, thankfully. And we just bought our first house like almost a year ago. It's a little farm
Congratulations.
right outside of the city with some land. So yeah, we're loving it so far. The move has been the best thing, and I'm never gonna leave Nashville. I'm here.
That's awesome. All right. So now that you mentioned you went to South Carolina, this is going to be my
Yeah.
final question before I let you answer the other final question. How
Okay.
are you feeling about football season? Are you a South Carolina football fan?
I am. I am. I definitely am. And my husband went to Clemson, so we don't watch
Okay.
games together.
Yeah,
Um,
well, you almost had a lot to make fun of Clemson for the other day.
yeah, I think we're going to be better than Clemson this year. That's what he tells me. He's more locked into the football stuff. I like a good tailgate, but I'm all about go sports too. But yeah, no, so we'll see. I mean, yeah, I just want to beat Clemson.
Hey, they've done it 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I was there when Jadeveon Clowney was there, and
Oh,
so that was really cool. And then he left because he was too good for us.
I always see that clip on Instagram resurface of that hit in the Michigan game. It
Oh,
blows the
oh,
quarterback's helmet off.
oh, yeah. I mean, that, I mean, it's getting to that time too where football season's coming, and I'm like, okay, so we're gonna make some dip in the crock pot, have some people over, watch some football.
Yeah,
I'll be watching some
that's the thing.
football.
I'm just glad that Georgia doesn't have to play South Carolina because I
Oh
haven't had
yeah.
much to worry about over the last 10 years with them. But
Oh yeah, you're Georgia. I'm seeing that on your
uh,
shirt.
yeah, but South Carolina, I think they can beat anybody. They might make the SEC championship.
Really? He was Hunter, is my husband was saying he thinks Georgia or Alabama is going to be the best this year.
Probably.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not
Oh,
gonna like blow too much
I
smoke,
think,
but
I
yeah,
think South
probably.
Carolina hosts Alabama next month.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
should be a good one.
yeah. It should be.
But steering away from football because hell, we could talk about football all day. What does the rest of the year look like for you with the EP out right now?
Yeah. So I mean, I have a ton of stuff in the works right now in the music world of things. Show wise, I have a really big show coming up in November. It's called St. Pete Country Fest, and I'm playing with like Treaty Oak Revival, Red Clay Strays, Parker McCullum. Like it's a massive festival. So like on the bigger show side of things, that's my next big show. And then honestly, right now, like I said, I'm working on other music stuff. I'm always working on other music stuff, but I'm really just trying to focus on my EP and be in the now with that and make sure that that gets the stage time and the recognition that I feel it deserves.
Well, I agree because it is a very good EP. I have listened to it and I think it's great. And everybody out there watching this, if you haven't checked it out, Doing Fine is available right now. It's a six-song EP. You should go stream it. If you don't follow Tracielynn on Instagram and TikTok and wherever else you can find her, go follow
Yeah.
her right now. Tracielynn, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, Tyler.
You got it. We'll see you guys next time.